lights low, camera on me, wave crash in the background. Welcome to the story, stay wavy with the jab TV, with the hook, every round, heavy now. Better take a good look, ring bell, gloves up, hear the bass get loud. We make the camera shake.
Devin Haney absolutely destroys Brian Norman Jr. last night and becomes a third division champion. He snatched that welterweight belt from Brian Norman Jr. And listen, man, I've been telling y'all from the moment that the fight was announced, shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel. I told y'all from when this fight was first announced that Devin Haney was going to beat Brian Norman Jr. by unanimous decision. Now, because so many people hate Devin Haney, right? Y'all seen Brian Norman Jr. have the knockout of the year against Jin Sasaki. But like I said back then, I'll say it now. Who the fuck is Jin Sasaki? Who is he? Who has he fought? Last time I checked, Jin Sasaki was already knocked out before he fought Brian Norman Jr. this year, right? Let's look at Santillan. Santillan wasn't a champion. Santillan was never considered an elite boxer or a top 3 boxer at 147, right? And that was a war. It wasn't like Brian Norman Jr. just dominated Santillan. That was a tough fight for Brian Norman Jr. That fight could have went either way. Ultimately, Brian Norman Jr. ended up stopping Santillan, right, in good fashion. But it wasn't a dominant performance, right? Let's look at the fight before that. Let's look at the fight with Quentin Randall. That was another tough fight for Brian Norman Jr. And based off of these fights, I've been telling people for months leading up to the fight, I said, Brian Norman Jr. reminds me of Danny Garcia because he's flat-footed. He depends on the left hook to knock people out. And when he can't do that, right? And when he can't do that, he struggles, right? Brian Norman Jr. in that fight last night against Devin Haney was very flat-footed, very slow, right? Bad legs, bad feet. You know what I'm saying? And he just couldn't land the way he wanted on Devin Haney because Devin Haney, with the experience that he has, Devin Haney was using his jab. Devin Haney was throwing that left hook. Devin Haney was going to the body. And every time Brian Norman Jr. started to get comfortable, Devin Haney would grab him and clinch him. And Devin Haney was punching on the clinch. And that was affecting Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr., he did not look comfortable from round 2 to 12. Round 1, I actually think Brian Norman Jr. won the first round. And that's because Devin Haney was downloading information. He wanted to feel that power. He wanted to see how is Brian Norman Jr. going to approach this fight. I think that Devin Haney was expecting Brian Norman Jr. to completely maul him from the first round. And if he would have done that, then Brian Norman Jr. would have got put on his ass in the first round, but he didn't do that. Brian Norman Jr. surprisingly was a little hesitant. And after the first round, his dad, Brian Norman Sr., was saying, what are you doing? Go after him. Stop being so hesitant. Make him uncomfortable. Go at him. He's scared. He's not sure of himself. He's not confident of himself. And the reason, and shout out to Brian Norman Sr., right? The reason why Brian Norman Sr. was saying that was based off of Devin Haney's last performance against Jose Ramirez. Now, as a Devin Haney fan, I did not like Devin Haney's performance against Jose Ramirez. I didn't like the fact that he was running for 12 rounds. I understand that Bill Haney was saying that the game plan was to show people that if Devin Haney doesn't want to get hit, he won't get hit. And he did that. But that's not good for the sport of boxing, bro. Nobody wants to watch a fight where a guy is moving around the ring and all that and barely throwing punches, okay? Nobody wants to see that. So that's why Brian Norman Sr. told his son, Brian Norman Jr., he's not sure of himself. He's not confident. He can't take a punch. Go in there and rough him up. In second round, Brian Norman Jr. went in there and tried to rough up Debo. And Devin Haney threw that nasty left hook and then followed up with a 1-2 and put Brian Norman Jr. on his ass. Now, I got to be honest with y'all. Even though I knew Devin Haney was going to win this fight by unanimous decision, and I also said that if Brian Norman Jr. gets too reckless, that I could see Devin Haney dropping him. Y'all keep saying Devin Haney got pillow fist. Hey, if he got pillow fist, how did he drop Regis Prograis? How did he drop Brian the Storm Norman Jr.? I thought Brian Norman Jr. was the assassin. According to all you boxing fans leading up to this fight, I thought Brian Norman Jr. hits harder than Ryan Garcia. I thought Brian Norman Jr. was the best fighter at welterweight, right? Brian Norman Jr. himself, before the fight, told Devin Haney to his face, man, you ain't got nothing in them gloves, man. You ain't got nothing in them hands, man. Devin Haney said, what if I drop you? Well, you ain't got nothing in them hands, man. You ain't got nothing in them gloves, man. Hey, Pillow fist put you on your ass, my nigga. Devin Debo Haney, who allegedly y'all say got pillow fist, can't punch, he put Brian Norman Jr. on his ass. And this is why it's important to watch a fighter's fights before you decide to bet money on them, because this isn't the first time that Brian Norman Jr. has been dropped. Boca Chica dropped Brian Norman Jr. I think that fight ended in a no contest. I don't think either fighter won, but Boca Chica was winning that fight. If they would have actually finished that fight, Boca Chica would have beat Brian Norman Jr. And I guarantee you that Devin Haney and Bill Haney was watching that fight. I guarantee you. But I was not expecting Devin Haney to drop Brian Norman Jr. in the second round. When that shit happened, y'all, shout out to Marco Boxing. I was on Marco Boxing's channel. I was on the panel, and I was screaming because I was so hyped up. I was like, let's go, man. Like, because I was surprised, man. I was surprised. And I thought Devin Haney was going to finish Brian Norman Jr., but luckily, Brian Norman Jr. got saved by the bell. And because I know the type of fighter Devin Haney is, I knew Devin Haney wasn't going to force the knockout. So once Brian Norman Jr. was able to finish the second round, and I seen Devin Haney using his jab, I said, Devin Haney's going to finish the fight the same way he did when he fought Regis, right? Everybody that watched that fight, we all know if Devin Haney wanted to, he could have knocked out Regis Prograis. But that's not the kind of fighter that Devin Haney is. Devin Haney is not going to go against the game plan and take away his discipline and go in there and fight outside of his comfort zone to force a knockout, because number one, that's not his style, right? Number two, that's not the game plan. If the game plan was to knock out Brian Norman Jr., you would have seen Devin Haney be more aggressive, because he could have did it, right? But that wasn't the game plan, bro. The game plan was to show Brian Norman Jr. that you're not going to bully Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to come in and do what you want to do, and if you try to do it, we're going to put you on your ass. So once that worked, right, Devin Haney pretty much coasted the rest of the fight and won the fight by unanimous decision. I did want to see, listen, I got to hold Devin Haney accountable. I wanted to see Devin Haney be more aggressive. I did. You know, I felt like he could have used his jab more. I feel like Devin Haney has the best jab in boxing. But he didn't use it as much as I was expecting him to last night. I think he could have used the jab a lot more. He was using it. I wish Devin Haney would have threw that left hook more, because after he dropped Norman in the second round, I didn't really see him continue to use that left hook, and I don't know why. Because the left hook was there all night. You know, Brian Norman Jr., he just kept coming in with his hands down, moving his head forward before he was throwing the punch. And I was like, yo, Dev, you could drop this nigga again, bro. Keep throwing that left hook. Keep throwing that bitch. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Devin Haney, man. And listen, bro, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. After the Ryan Garcia fight, bro, after seeing Devin Haney get dropped 3 times, suffer his first loss, finding out that Ryan Garcia was on Ostarine, which is a banned substance, right? Plus Ryan Garcia came into the fight overweight, right? Seeing how the fans, right? Because the fans, like, they already hated Devin Haney, right? They felt like Devin Haney lost to Lomachenko, which I completely disagree. I think Devin Haney won 7 out of 12 rounds against Lomachenko. Was it a close fight? Yes, but I think Devin Haney was more dominant. He was going to the body on Lomachenko the entire fight. But when Devin Haney lost to Ryan Garcia, bro, the way that I seen boxing fans clown Devin Haney for getting cheated, even after the Ostarine came out, right? Like, people didn't even care, bruh. To see y'all nail this man to the cross, bruh, and write this man off and bully this man for 2 years straight, right? Then he had you know, Devin Haney filed the lawsuit. Do I think that was the right move? No. But listen, bro, you can't bash a man who got cheated, right? But even after Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly, bruh, like, to this day, you still see people posting the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight, bruh. Y'all keep posting the clips of him getting dropped by Ryan. And listen, bruh, if Devin Haney would have lost last night, bruh, y'all would have been clowning this man all over the internet, bruh. And seeing Devin Haney go in there with a majority of people doubting him, even the betting odds, bruh, they had Brian Norman Jr. as the favorite. I felt like that was a spit in the face of Devin Haney, because how do you make a guy who hasn't fought anybody elite, how do you put him as the favorite against a guy that undisputed 135 and moved up to 140 and took a belt from Regis? How do you do that, right? How do you pick the guy that's 24 that's not proven against the guy that's 27 that is a former pound-for-pound boxer? He's going to be back on the pound-for-pound list after last night. But shout out to Devin Haney, bro. Like, as a fan, bro, like, I ain't going to lie to y'all, man. Like, no Diddy shit. I almost shed a tear, man, when I seen Devin giving this speech because, you know, he had everything taken away from him, bro. After that Ryan fight, bro, it's like everybody turned their back on him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody turned their back on him. Everybody counted him out. Everybody thought he was washed up. And because he took so much punishment against Ryan Garcia, even myself, bro, like, I didn't know if Devin Haney was going to be the same fighter, not based off of his skill, but when you take an ass whooping like Dev took against Ryan, bro, when you take that level of punishment, some fighters are never the same after that, right? Look at Amir Khan. Amir Khan got knocked out that first time. He was never the same. You know what I'm saying? Edgar Berlanga, he just got knocked out by Hamza Shiraz. He may never be the same. You feel me? But Devin Haney proved last night that he's back. He's better than ever. And I told y'all he was going to beat Brian Norman Jr. the same way that he beat Regis Prograis. I said that. Go back and watch the videos. I've been told people this. I said Brian Norman Jr., he fights exactly like Danny Garcia. And when he steps up his level of competition, which was Devin Haney, he's going to get exposed. And that's exactly what happened last night. Y'all seen the slow feet. Brian Norman Jr., he convinced y'all saying, oh, they say I got slow feet. They say I can only win by knockout. I'm going to show y'all that I can do everything. We didn't see that last night. We seen the slow feet. You know what I'm saying? We seen the stiffness. You feel me? So it's levels to this shit. Shout out to the people that say resumes don't win fights, bro. Resumes say a lot, bro. If you haven't fought anybody at the top level, you're not elite. You can't be considered a favorite when you're going against somebody that's already proven. You just can't. And to the people that was dick riding Brian Norman for the past 3-4 months, man, shout out to y'all. You realized last night that you don't know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know shit about boxing, bro. And that's why you need to subscribe to Stay Wavy TV, because I do know boxing, okay? I don't pick fighters just because they have knockouts. That's why a lot of y'all niggas are fans of Gervonta Tank Davis, because he just gets knockouts. Doesn't matter who exactly he's knocking out. Just because he gets knockouts and you find his fights entertaining, that's why you're fans of Tank. You see, I'm not a fan of boxers just because they get knockouts. I'm a fan of the sweet science. I'm a fan of the jab. I'm a fan of the uppercut. I'm a fan of the left hook. I just like boxing in general. I like fighters based off of their skill set. I don't give a fuck about knockouts, bro. Do we all like to see knockouts as boxing fans? Of course. But do I need to see knockouts every fight? No. And listen, if you're a boxing fan and you like to see knockouts, bro, then you should only be watching the heavyweight, light heavyweight, and cruiser division. Okay? You should not be watching fights at welterweight or middleweight or any of the divisions under cruiserweight. You shouldn't be watching them expecting a knockout every fight, and when a fighter wins the fight and he doesn't get the knockout, you shit on the fighter and call him boring. No, you're just not a fan of boxing, brother. You're not a fan of boxing. If you really want to see knockouts, go watch the UFC. You will see more knockouts in the UFC or MMA, bruh. So with that being said, man, congratulations to Devin Debo Haney. Last night, it's officially Debo season, okay? Devin Haney is going to undispute the welterweight division. I'm expecting Devin Haney to fight the winner of, I think he's either going to fight the winner of Rolly and Pacquiao, or he's going to fight the winner of Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. I think Mario Barrios is going to beat Ryan Garcia. So, you know, listen, the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia rematch would be the biggest fight of 2026, and I'm going to actually make a separate video about that. But at the end of the day, bruh, you know, I just don't think Ryan Garcia is an elite fighter. So with that being said, man, it's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video, leave a comment. It's your boy Wavy. I'm out.
Stay Wavy signing out. Ride the tide, no doubt. From the rooftop glow to the neon cloud. You tapped in, so I gotta say love. Like, subscribe, keep the motion above. Until the next wave, we out. Peace.